And his question is my first question is, when did the New Testament and the New Covenant start? Is the New Testament and the New Covenant the same thing? My friend had asked me this, and I had the same question.
I can quickly answer this, if that's okay. So the New Covenant begins with, in the biblical concept, that there has to be shedding of blood for a covenant. So there was blood shedding covenants with Abraham, there was with Moses, and then where was the blood shed for the new covenant? We see this, for example, Matthew 26:28, when Jesus, for example, is having the final Passover with the disciples, and he holds up the glass of wine. He says, "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for many for the remissions of sins." And so it was his death on the cross, the blood there, that sealed the new covenant with all who would be believing in Christ. And upon his death, we see in Matthew 26:51, it says, "Then behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earthquake and the rocks were split." But the significance of the veil being torn in the temple was showing, sort of confirming here that now that temple is hollow, the services there are meaningless because that old covenant with Moses is now done away with. As Jesus said near his final days, looking at Jerusalem, he says, your house is now left unto you desolate. So the death on the cross marked the end of the old covenant, beginning of the new covenant. Now, when does the New Testament start? Well, New Testament and covenant more or less mean the same thing. That's what we're talking about. But if we're talking about when did the books start being written, then that would be, nobody has an exact date, but obviously it'd be sometime after Jesus's death and resurrection, going to heaven. So starting around 40 AD, we have some chances on the books being written. Again, we don't have exact dates. We don't even know which book was first. Was it Matthew? Was it Mark? We don't know. So, but that gives you a rough time period, around 40-ish AD.